Hey everyone, welcome back to ClevverStyle. It's time for Trend Talk, Ask the Audience, which is one of our favorite shows. You know Erin White, you guys.
Hi, how are you?
She's the best, I just love you.
Thank you, Brianna, I love you too.
Love talking fashion with her. I mean, how great is Erin?
I don't know how great I am about fashion, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, you know a lot. And I mean, I feel like we can all relate to the normal gal, you know, on a budget, shopping, you know, high fashion trends that we see on the celebrities and bringing it down to earth into like the common folk.
That is absolutely my niche. I'm a thrifty shopper, so that's where I'm helpful in this.
Which is the way to go. Everybody needs to shop on a budget unless you're Kristen Stewart or Selena Gomez.
Absolutely, and I think everybody does.
I think they do too. All right, so we've got a few things that we're talking about today. We're going way in depth with the Breaking Dawn Part 2 premiere. It was an amazing red carpet. So we're talking about that and we're answering some questions. So let's jump right in. Our first look, of course, K-Stu, Kristen Stewart,
yes.
Rob Pattinson. I mean, these two looked unbelievable. I feel like,
and we expected them to look unbelievable.
I agree. This is one of the most highly anticipated arrivals of, I feel like, the year. I mean, it's not only is it the last movie of the Breaking Dawn Twilight saga, I mean, it's their first big appearance back together as a couple.
I know, and you know, I was really amped up for this, and I think they played it down a little bit.
Yeah.
They definitely did not do a lot of like press together. They definitely just kind of individualized themselves, but still in the back of our minds we're going, oh my gosh, what are they thinking?
They look so great together.
They look great together. What's happening behind the scenes? I want to know. But they looked awesome.
I thought they looked great too. And you know, one of the things that Jocelyn and Dana from Clever TV were at the premiere.
Yes.
And they were talking about how, you know, they didn't do as much press this year because they were busy signing autographs the whole time for their dedicated fans that have been camping out since, what, Thursday in LA to be at the premiere. So I thought that was really cool. So on top of looking fantastic, their demeanor and their presence at the premiere was awesome as well.
Yeah, a lot of the photos I saw of Kristen were taking photos with fans, which you have to love. And you know what, I think it's a great move for them because it's the last movie, like you just said, and they just wanted to have that one last like nod to their fans.
Yeah.
Because you guys, I mean, they've been so loyal.
The fans are what have made this, you know, saga so important and so much part of our culture.
Absolutely, I completely agree. So,
all right, talking about this dress, it's Zuhair Murad, which she's worn before. She wore it at the On the Road premiere. It was like a kind of the same, not the same, but like had a see-through element, like really classy, elegant feel.
Right. I thought she was gonna wear Balenciaga.
I did too. Rumors were swirling about that, and so this was but I think this was a bold move. I mean, the girl basically had on a nude leotard with lace overlay.
Yeah, and
bold.
Very bold. I mean, we were definitely talking about this look this week. I mean, I got a lot of comments on Facebook about this look, and there were people who either loved this look, like tremendously loved it, or absolutely hated it and thought it was too risque.
Yeah.
But personally, I love this look. I think it was, like you said, it was bold, but I don't think it was as people were even calling it like almost like a trashy look. I don't think it went that far.
Ew, no, I am definitely on the love it train. I feel like she couldn't have looked more gorgeous. I feel like the corset top just really accentuates her body, as well as the lace overlays. It's lace. I think it's stunning. It's designer, it's nude. It's not like it was hot pink lace with black shoes and black makeup. Like, it was stunning. I just thought it was really dainty and almost elegant.
Yeah, it was understated.
Yes.
It was understated, and it didn't show really too much. I mean, you could see through it, but you know that there's a leotard underneath it, so you're not getting, and I feel like for her age, like you should be able to wear these types of things when you're in your 20s. I mean, that's the time that you can, you know, when you get a little older and you have children and you're married, and you have a different kind of career than what she has right now, then you might want to change it up a little bit. But I think for her age and what she's doing, I think she should just keep rocking this sexy look.
I do too. I mean, she's young. She is, what, 22 years old? She's in the prime of her career. Actually, that's not even true. I don't even know if she's hit her prime yet, to be honest.
No.
I think she's still got some climbing to do before, you know, she's on the downward slope. If Kristen will even ever hit a downward slope.
No. She's definitely we're gonna see a lot of her after this saga is over.
I agree. Okay, what are some of your best love it comments since we're on the love it train?
We're on the love it train. Let me say, a lot of guys commented on this.
Of course they did. She's hot.
Someone said, They all look beautiful, and I put a comparison photo up. They all look beautiful, and any man will be proud standing next to them. However, for that immediate reaction and for what we will get with press-wise, fervently going with Kristen.
Amazing.
I mean, it was a press move, of course, because she had to come out and have in something that people were going to be talking about.
Yeah.
So, of course, but it looks beautiful. I'm trying to see what else I have here.
You know, on that note, talking about the press, I feel like, you know, she had to step out in something that was going to be big. It was going to be bold, but it couldn't be too overdone because Twilight is essentially a little bit of an ensemble cast, so she couldn't be too much, you know?
It's true, and there's a lot of new cast members in this movie this year, so there's a lot to see on that red carpet. Someone did say, Jeffrey said, yeah, hands down, Kristen looks the sexiest, and I never thought I would say that, but for a movie that's about lust and blood, there's a lot of pale flesh color going on.
Wow.
Which is definitely digging into the plot line there, and and maybe perhaps that's what her people were doing as well when they chose to, her stylist chose to pull this dress.
I know, I think it's a great one. I think it's a great look on Kristen. I don't want to end on a bad note, so shall we just ignore all the bad comments?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I understand where they're coming from, for sure, but you have to celebrate this saga, the fact that there's been a lot of bad press around her, and she showed up and went for it. So we have to applaud her for that.
I agree. Love me some K-Stew.
Absolutely.
All right, let's move on to a couple other girls that hit the red carpet. Okay, so now we're talking Ashley Greene and Nikki Reed, which these two women are beyond beautiful. I think they are stunning.
They are. And they went for a very classy, classic look on this carpet. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it was an interesting carpet because, you know, you think Twilight, you think kind of young, and you don't think, you know, Oscars ball gowns. However, every single woman that walked down that carpet showed class and showed elegance and showed like these timeless pieces that you're just like, whoa, where did this come from? Are we at the Oscars? Are we at the Emmys? Like, they just took Twilight to a whole different level for the finishing carpet, and I think these two really exuded that timeless elegance.
You know, that's a good point. I actually had a thought in my head that this is the premiere of their movie, and they're gonna go sit down and watch it in these gowns. Have you ever thought about that? I'm like, well, they're gonna drink their eat their popcorn and drink their soda while they watch the movie in these like drop dead gorgeous outfits. I wonder how that works once you get inside of the theater.
I don't know, but we definitely know Kristen threw on her Converse and ditched the heels at some point.
And wouldn't we all?
Yes, I definitely agree with that. She talked about that a little bit in an article. I'm trying to think. Oh, it was at the Sunday New York Times, and she was saying, you know, she puts on the tennis shoes so that she can sign autographs and talk to press, and she's not moving so slow down a carpet, which I thought was a really cool way of looking at it. She was like, you know, if it's genuine and comes from a place of your heart, then, you know, why not?
Yeah, she is good. She is a very down-to-earth girl, and I think she wants to preserve that inside of herself. She doesn't want to get too carried away with the designer duds and all the flashy things that comes with being a celebrity.
I agree, but these two, I mean, are down to earth as well. Look how stunning they are, and I feel like, let's talk about Nikki first, which I loved her dress. I think Nikki is just a natural beauty.
Yes.
She doesn't matter if she is going to yoga or if she's going to the grocery store or she's hitting a huge red carpet. She always looks stunning.
And my favorite part about this dress is the color on her. There's just something with her, you know, her darker olive complected skin with this understated powder blue dress that I think just really makes her pop. It makes her features pop, her hair, her eyes, her skin. So the color choice for this dress was impeccable.
I agree with you there. I totally agree. And I think the studded lining, is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's just studded lining.
Yeah. Piping.
It makes it like edgy and gives it this element of like rock star, which, I mean, I don't feel like that's something you normally see from Nikki. You know, you see usually a little bit more subdued, more like feminine, but just a little bit of rock star. Of course, you guys know I'm digging it. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing. I have it on shoes and coats, and it's everywhere. But to put it on a designer gown was a great move, and I think it's appealing to the fans.
I agree, and I think that I know that I love that it's floor length, because if this was a mini frock, it would have taken a little bit more playful instead of this elegant, just a little bit edgy dress.
I completely agree with you on that.
I love her hair. I love the side part, very Hollywood glam. The jewels are great. The clutch goes with it perfectly. I mean, there's really nothing that Nikki does wrong with this outfit, and you guys know, like, it's tough when you're stepping out on the red carpet. Critics are huge, and if I was to nitpick an outfit, I don't think there's really anything wrong that I can find with this.
No, everything was perfectly in place. She hit it out of the park.
I agree. Okay, moving on to Ashley. What are your thoughts on her?
Well, Ashley, I had some people comment on Ashley. The funny story is, I was telling you earlier, I used to work with Ashley back in the day.
That's
like
crazy.
6 years ago. We worked at the Hollywood Roosevelt together when I first moved to Los Angeles. And I'll tell you, I know Ashley in her normal low-key kind of outfits, in a uniform actually. That's where I really know Ashley, working at the Roosevelt. Very sweet, very simple girl. So I didn't expect too much craziness out of her on this red carpet. And I'll tell you, I like this dress a lot. I don't know if I'm a fan of this dress on Ashley. I think that she's so gorgeous and striking. I think it's a little bit mature. I think she could have taken a little bit more of a risk on this, although it does look beautiful on her. I actually had a Facebook friend say, her name is Alexandra Marlin. She said, Ashley Greene is one of the hottest women around, but I don't think that dress does her justice. And I do have to agree with Alex on this, because I think it could have just been a little bit more. What do you think?
You know, I think that, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me guys, that this dress is Donna Karan Atelier. And, you know, obviously we know that Ashley is the face of the brand, so she's going to be stepping out in Donna Karan, especially for these big events. However, one thing about this dress, I love the pink on her. I think it's a dainty color.
It's a great color.
I think it's beautiful. What I would have liked to see this dress as almost a mermaid silhouette that was tighter, that hugged her in the curves, because I feel like once we get past the waistline, it's so much fabric on Ashley's body, and she is so petite that it just swallows her a little bit.
Swallows her up. And even the top portion, when you're looking at the sweetheart cut, it covers a lot with the shoulder piece. It's just a lot of dress on a girl, like you said, who is so tiny.
Yeah.
And striking. I mean, they did a great job pulling her hair back, so you could definitely see the features of her face
and her shoulder.
Her shoulder. But it was just a little too much dress for her.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just think there's like some few additions that Ashley could have made, like, and it would have been, you know, rockin'. However, she looked confident, like her demeanor, her poise, her pose. I mean, it's Ashley Greene, for goodness sake. She can really do no wrong. So I think just a few simple additions, taking things in, leaving the train, just hugging down her curves would have been the way to go.
If she was in the studio, we would have taken some clips to the back of that dress.
Oh yeah.
And clipped her in. But a red carpet, you can't really do that. But I'm like you, yeah. The fit was a little bit ill-fitting, but I think she still looked beautiful.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to talk about is Ashley's makeup. Now you guys, I'm going to give you a second to go on your computer, open up another window, and pull up a close-up of her makeup, because it is just unbelievable.
It's perfect.
So we've had her makeup artist in, Vanessa Scully, and she is so talented, I can't even put it into words. And so she did Ashley's makeup for this premiere, and I just, I can't even believe how perfect it is. It's intense, but it's dainty. It fits Ashley's face. It's just, it's not too much. When a lot of times you go on these carpets and, you know, you want to stand out and you want to do this, so you do bold makeup, you do like a really intense smoky eye because that's what you think you should do.
Right.
Ashley doesn't do that. I mean, Vanessa just captured her natural beauty. And there's a weird noise coming on, so hang on. We're in Hollywood and there's weird things that happen. I think it's a jackhammer.
So it is a jackhammer, but we'll just ignore that.
Yeah. But just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous makeup.
It is. And here's the other thing about red carpets that we should all keep in mind.
Stupid jackhammer.
I know. Well, at least somebody's working around here, you know what I mean?
Apparently.
Everybody doesn't get to sit around and talk about pretty pictures all day like us. So, but Ashley's makeup, it was back to red carpet makeup. Red carpet makeup is usually a lot heavier because you're under bright lights. It's a really harsh lighting. So usually that's why a lot of celebrities do go with heavier, darker makeup. But like you said, balancing that with this natural look as well is such a challenge, but they did it.
Yeah. Vanessa, one of her big things is, you know, when she came in to teach us some tutorials, which you guys can find on the channel, she mentioned, you know, I don't put foundation everywhere. It just makes it too heavy. You know, a moisturizer, a primer, a full foundation. She was like, natural skin is better skin. It makes it dewy. It still photographs well. So I think that's a really great tip for you guys to learn from Vanessa and from Ashley's makeup at the premiere.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to a few questions.
Okay.
All right, guys, time for the questions. My favorite part. Taking it back to the neutral screen right now. And please excuse the jackhammer. What?
Yeah, I think they might be doing some like
Major construction.
Major construction.
Only on Sunset Boulevard, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, now you know what it's like to be here in Hollywood if you've never been.
Yeah, lots of construction. Woohoo.
Lots of noise, lots of people. But I actually have a question for us if you're ready.
I'm ready.
Question is about skin in the winter and how you can keep your skin glowing.
That's a really good question. Erin, I've just started noticing, especially in California, because we're just now kind of getting into these like drier, colder temperatures.
Right.
So my skin is like clamming up, especially on my hands, and my face is so dry. It's like I can't get enough moisture on it. So obviously summer to winter is totally different for my skin. So what I've been doing is I use argan oil, which I think I've talked about to you guys before, but it's such a great product. You can use it in your hair actually too, but I use it on my face. Now, if you have oily skin, might not recommend it, but if your skin does get dry in the winter, this is a great way. It just soaks it right up. It's all organic, especially some of the stuff that you can find at like Whole Foods or your local natural market. You're gonna be able to find that and it lasts you forever. It's not too expensive. So I use that and then I use a moisturizer over it. And that's something that I've really noticed will help. And always, you know, in the summer, I will wash my face and then I won't put moisturizer on after I wash it before bed. But in the winter, that is like priority. It's like brushing my teeth. Like, have to put moisturizer on before I go to bed.
Right.
So those are a few things that are gonna help. And you know, sometimes those intense moisturizer, instead of just the ones that are a little bit lighter, the ones that really penetrate your skin and you spend a little bit more money on,
they're worth it.
Are worth it in the winter months.
Mm-hmm. Here's the other thing you should keep in mind is exfoliation is huge.
Yes.
To keep, do masks at home. I like to do at-home facials, especially in the wintertime. I do oatmeal facials with cinnamon, and actually it's really hard not to want to eat it while I'm putting it on my face. But
what do you put in it?
It depends. It depends. It actually really depends on what I have at my house.
That's awesome.
But I'll do oatmeal. I'll do bananas sometimes. I'll do cinnamon. You can do egg whites are really big. Although I wouldn't mix egg whites with oatmeal necessarily, but you could do like an egg white facial. Mm-hmm. Anything that's like natural and good, you can Google or look up. Maybe we can put a link down below or something to a couple of sites that you can get some good facial ideas from. But yeah, do all natural facials. Sometimes they're easier on your skin if you have sensitive skin and you don't want to go do a chemical peel or go get a facial. But if you can handle it, do facials as much as possible because it really will keep your skin alive and vibrant. So I guess those two coupled with each other will be great tips to keep your skin ready to go for the winter months. And lots of water.
Oh, I was just about to say that. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Lots of water. We drink a lot more coffee because it's colder and we want to hold it in our hands, and we drink a lot more coffee in the winter. So just make sure you're drinking 8 ounces of water for every cup of coffee that you drink.
Yeah, that's really true because, caffeine can make you break out. So it's, you want to like detoxify your system with that water. Mm-hmm. Flush it all out.
Absolutely.
All right, Erin. Oh, I have one more question. So Tori asked, we're kind of on this winter theme right now. How can I keep my hair healthy in the winter? Because that's another thing that dries out. I mean, this is kind of funny that we got two of these same questions, but
they're great questions. For me, I don't know about you. I guess we have similar types of hair. I have thick hair, coarse hair, but it gets damaged very easily, especially doing what we do, curling our hair, blow drying our hair every day. It really takes its toll. So one of the things that I do to try to help prevent split ends is when I go to the gym or I'm at home or going to bed at night, I like to wrap my hair in like a loose bun, or if I'm going to the gym, a tighter bun. And instead of using elastic rubber bands, I actually use a bunch of bobby pins to secure it, because it's just, you're not gonna break off the ends of your hair. You just know when you wear your hair in a ponytail and you take it out and you have that ponytail line.
Yeah.
It's just damaging your hair. So if you can do it with bobby pins and pin it up as much as you can, it's a better alternative than elastic bands. So that helps my ends. I also do masks on my hair, actually. You can get them at anywhere at CVS. You can get a cheaper version, or you can go to a salon and get a mask done there. You should do at least once every 6 weeks or so. Just do a good little conditioning mask on your hair. And if you're doing it at home, a tip for you is to keep it on the ends and not put it on the roots.
Yeah, too heavy.
Too heavy on the roots. I mean, unless you have very dry hair, it might be fine, but I have oily hair, so I'll try to try to avoid at least from about here up. And here down, I just coat it and do a mask and let it sit for 10 or 15 minutes, and then that's done. That's what I do. What do you do?
One thing that I've noticed that's really made a difference in my hair is sleeping on a silk pillowcase. That's it.
I've heard that so often. I mean, that is something, I have never gone out and bought one, but you think it helps your hair?
It helps my hair, it helps my face all together. It just keeps everything more intact. So that's one of the big things that I do is I sleep on that. You can buy them at like TJ Maxx, Home Goods, like for really cheap.
$15.
Yeah, and you know, the only problem is you do have to get it dry cleaned when you need to wash it, and washing your pillowcase is huge. You have to wash your pillowcase. But so that's the only thing. So I buy two, so you can, you know, throw one in the dry cleaners and use the other one when the other one's there, and it helps my hair so much. I'm not washing it as much. It's better with the heat damage. I can just tell a huge difference.
That's maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, it's really easy too.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
All right, you guys. That is it for Trend Talk Ask the Audience. Thank you so much, Erin.
You're so welcome. Thank you guys for sending your questions and comments. We love hearing from you.
I know, we love it. All right, you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.